I've been making automotive content since the days of the GoPro Hero 1. Now, I'm nothing special when it comes to working a camera. I don't have any kind of crazy training or anything like that, and typically I tend to buy cameras that work well out of the box so I don't have to mess with settings and color grading and all that. The camera that I've used the most up until recently was a GoPro Hero 10, and I used all the built-in color grading stuff, and I only made minor tweaks in post-production. I like my setup as simple as possible. As content has evolved over the last couple of years, and the way that automotive content connects with viewers, I've found that my GoPros just are lacking some features or lacking some flexibility that I started looking for cameras outside of the GoPro niche. And that's not to say that GoPros are bad, I just don't think they're as good of a fit for the automotive vlogger as maybe they used to a few years ago. And then I started wondering to myself, okay, what is the best camera for an automotive vlogger? Is it a GoPro or is it something else? And that's what brought up this comparison. The GoPro Hero 10 with its little media mod versus the Insta360 AcePro with its little media adapter. Which one is better for the automotive vlogger? Now I know there's probably a few of you sitting here going, well, why aren't you using the Hero 12? And it was just, I had a Hero 10 and I wasn't gonna buy another camera. For the sake of what I had around, that's what it was. Now before I get into specific things of what I felt the GoPro was missing, there's gonna be some people that want some video comparisons, so we'll just do that right up front real quick. This is not a side-by-side comparison in the sense of filmed at the same time, but similar conditions. I have both of these cameras set up with very basic settings. I don't really fiddle with anything. The GoPro, I've been really happy with video quality-wise. The Hero 10 obviously doesn't have the horizon lock like the Hero 12 does, but I feel like the stabilization is pretty good. I'm really happy with it. Now the AcePro has its own version of horizon locks. The stabilization is great, and side by side, the video quality looks pretty awesome. I'm happy with both of them. The one thing that I didn't do when I set up the AcePro is I set the white balancing to automatic, which is a big no-no in sunny conditions, because as the level of light changes, you get some color shift stuff, like right here. Other than that, that's really the only complaint I have, and that's just a minor tweak of like a set it and forget it kind of a thing. The big advantage of the Insta360 AcePro is the night footage, because the Insta360, if you haven't seen, it has that Leica co-developed glass and lens and sensor, which make it better. It's a larger sensor. It's a larger sensor out of any action camera, which means it lets in more light. So at night, it shoots way clearer and way crisper than anything else. So like here is the AcePro at night. This is out at the sand dunes. Super, super clear, especially looking inside of the car. Like, that's pretty awesome. And then here's a GoPro shot of inside my drift car. So not really an apples to apples comparison, but you can already see just between the two, the AcePro is a lot sharper. All right, so that out of the way, let's talk about the three major things that I'm not happy with my GoPro. The first is audio quality. The thing about vlogging is that you need to have a good microphone. And so that's where the media mod comes in. And the media mod's pretty good. But when it comes to automotive vlogging, really a big part of it is motorsports, for me at least. And so I can't capture good audio with the GoPro without using an external microphone that's ran inside of my helmet. You see, the thing is when you're out at the racetrack in a loud race car, or you're out at the sand dunes in a loud sand rail or sand car, you need to have a good microphone and good microphone placement. And you see, the thing about having a good microphone inside the helmet or a good external microphone is that the way you connect with your audience is through talking to them and telling them what you're doing and expressing how cool it is. And so, you know, I connect an external microphone. That's no problem, right? That's what the whole media mod's about. I just plug it in and you think, great, I'm good to go. But the problem is that GoPro doesn't have any way to manually adjust the audio levels with an external microphone. And you can't see it, but I've got my external microphone right up here, okay? It's right up by my ear. I actually used to have it right in front of my face, but I found that just talking to the camera, I would blow the audio out or clip it. It was so bad. And that's just something that the GoPro does. There isn't a good way to adjust the audio levels with the GoPro. And I have lost countless moments of footage because I've been too excited and I yelled and I screamed and the audio clipped and it was bad. The Insta360 solves the external microphone volume problem by a general setting. It's really straightforward. You go to your settings over here, click the gear icon, you're gonna click on General, scroll down, and there's your external mic gain. It's very easy to adjust, and you've got a bunch of different options to choose from. So I can select -12 or -18, and then I can really yell into the microphone without clipping the audio. The next issue that I have that I was kind of leading into is technological glitches. The two major frustrations I have for technological glitches with the GoPro is losing audio along the same lines of the audio quality, but then the other is it freezing, all right? So sometimes the microphone just decides not to work. And the only way for me to tell is to be able to turn the camera on and look at it as it's powering up and tap near the microphone and talk to see if it's picking up audio. There isn't really a good way for me to tell if it's working or not when I've got my helmet on and the camera on. I'm not looking at it to start, I'm just pressing the button. And so I just hope and pray that during that run or during that drive that my microphone is working and I can talk to my viewers and film my video and it's all good. But I've lost hundreds of hours of footage because there was no audio. The only way to fix it is to take the camera off of the helmet, out of the media mod, yank the battery out, put the battery back in, and put it all back together. Or the other thing I've had happen is I press record and I don't realize that the camera's frozen up right after I've pressed record. So I press record and then I go to stop it and I press the button for it to stop recording and I get nothing. And the only way to fix that is to pull the camera apart, do the whole battery reset, and that's a pain. Typically within a day at the racetrack or out at the sand dunes, I have 2 or 3 technological glitches that require a whole camera reset, whether it's no audio or maybe the footage freezes, the camera freezes, and then I'll lose all of the footage. Now I haven't had as much use time with the AcePro as I had my GoPros, so the jury is still kind of out on how good the AcePro is. However, I can tell you that after several days of filming with the AcePro, and I'm talking several days back to back to back, I had 0 technological issues. Now let's say I do have some sort of connection issue with the media mod, okay? One of my favorite things about this media mod is how simple it is. Unlike the GoPro, which totally encases the camera, this is just something that clips onto the side. So say there is some sort of connection issue. That's all it takes to disconnect it, and that's all it takes to reconnect it. That's it. No big painful procedure to be able to pull the camera out. This leads into my final major pain point with GoPro, is just the ergonomics of the camera. So let's say I do have a major technological glitch and I need to be able to take the camera apart to fix it. A lot of the time I try to do that with my helmet on because it's a whole process to take it off and put it back on again. So what I have to do is I disconnect my external mic, that's easy enough. And then I have to take the camera out of the mount, and then what I have to do is remove the camera from the mount. So now I gotta loosen my thumb screw, okay? There we go. Get my thumb screw out. Now we gotta pull the media mod from the camera. So to do that, I've got to unhinge it here, okay? Yank the camera out, yank my battery, put it back in, put it back in. Gotta flip these tabs up, which aren't super straightforward. Okay, so I got the tabs flipped up now. Put this back in right here. Now let me show you this thumb screw that GoPro thought was such a great idea. Put it in, we tighten it down, okay? Do you see how annoying that is? I can't rotate my fingers all the way around because look at how tight that is in there. There's no way to tighten that. So when I'm tightening it, I have to actually rock the camera with a thumb screw, otherwise I can't do it. Now let me show you the Insta360 thumb screw just so you can get a side-by-side view here. Do you see how much room there is? I can mess with that thumb screw all I want, so easy compared to the GoPro. Like, what the heck, GoPro? So there we go. Let's say now I've reset everything to GoPro, I've got all that stuff good to go, I put it back on the helmet, and then I'm good and I can go drive again. But man, what a process that is. Let's just look at another thing. Okay, you had to yank the battery out of the GoPro to get the reset. If I need to yank the battery with the Insta360, the door is already on the outside. I don't have something covering it. All I have to do is that. And there's my battery. I don't even have to pull the camera off the helmet necessarily to be able to do that. An added bonus of the Insta360 is the mount here on the bottom. A lot of times I carry my phone with me because my phone is my backup camera, right? But it's just not the same. It's not as good quality. It's a pain to go from phone to computer and all that stuff. But the Insta360 has a really handy feature to be able to remove it from the mount. So let's say I need to take the camera off the helmet because I need to film something cool or I need to mess with the settings. Well, it's just that easy. That's all it takes with this bottom mount, just these two little clips down there. Undo it, and then put it back on. Done. So say something really cool happens, or maybe something really bad happens. I don't have to yank my phone out of my pocket and try and get that going when I can just take the Insta360 off of my helmet and use it as my camera, and we're good to go. Like, that's a pretty neat thing. That is so easy to be able to remove it and install it from my helmet. Now, the last little ergonomic-y thing with the Insta360 that I like so much compared to GoPro, which may seem really silly to people, is just the feedback I get from the camera. So let me just show you, okay? We're gonna power on the GoPro and we're gonna power on the Insta360. GoPro, Insta360. You hear that noise? Now let's turn them off. Here's the GoPro. Okay, Insta360. Those chimes make such a big difference. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I have turned on my GoPro and been like, oh, wait a minute, did I just stop recording or did I start recording? I don't know, because the tone is the same for GoPro no matter what you're doing. They just change the duration and the number of beeps. Whereas the Insta360 has a whole like orchestra of beeps and tones that it can give you. So I know when it's on, I know when it's off, I know when I start recording, I know when I stop recording, because it's got all kinds of different sounds that go with it. And on top of that, the Insta360 has a vibration. When I've got my helmet on and I'm pressing record, the camera vibrates. And so if I'm in a loud race car or a loud sand rail, I can't really hear sometimes, but because the camera is mounted to the helmet, I feel and hear the vibration through the entire thing, and there's much less chance for me to have any kind of question about what it's doing because it vibrated. So the question of what's the best automotive vlogging camera, and I don't really have a straightforward answer because I do like my GoPros, but I've just found them lacking recently. And the Insta360 answers all of the problems that I seem to have with the GoPros. So is the AcePro best? I think it's gonna depend on your individual use. Now for me, someone who's out of the racetrack a lot, or I'm out of the sand dunes and I'm wearing a helmet and I need that external microphone and I need the high audio quality from it, and I don't have as much opportunity to be able to correct a camera failure, the AcePro is looking really, really good. Plus, it's got those extra awesome ergonomics that make it just that much better than the GoPro, especially to make it a simple operation, okay? So yeah, I'm pretty freaking excited about it. If you've got questions about the Insta360 compared to the GoPro, like put it down in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything. I do have access to a GoPro Hero 12 that I would like to do another comparison against, maybe. But also, if you have questions about Insta360 AcePro features, or there's certain things that you like or dislike, hey, I wanna hear them too, because maybe I just wasted all my money buying this because I don't have an Insta360 brand partnership. But hey, Insta360, if you see this and you're interested, hey, get at me, huh? If you like this type of content, make sure to check out my channel, put it in the comments so I know if there's other stuff you'd like to see. Maybe I'll make another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.